Last week I done an introduction. This week I want to give some background on my grief. And if you know me, then some of you've heard some of this and some of my testimony. Someone said to me that I might be going through this to help someone else later. I'll be honest, in the beginning of my grief, I would tell God I don't want to be used to help others through this because I didn't want to be going through this myself. Just go ahead, take me too, because there's nothing I can say or do to help anyone. Now I do pray God can use me. There isn't anything I can do, but I want to be a vessel that He can use to encourage someone during their grief. I want to share how I truly felt during each of my grief situations. When I would look for help during it all, I didn't see anyone saying how they felt, the emotions they were dealing with, or thoughts they were having. I didn't feel normal, and I was trying to find out if I was crazy or just emotional. I did find many devotions on grief, and I did read a lot of scripture for encouragement, and those did help. But we are human, and we want to see that we're not alone in what we're feeling. And I want you to know that you're not alone. My dad passed away almost 13 years ago, and the grief hit me months later. In the beginning, I was sad, but so much was going on that I didn't have a chance to really grieve. My mom had an arteriogram, so I brought her to our house to recuperate. Next, my daughter had a tonsillectomy. Then I had shoulder surgery. As things began to slow down, then the grief really hit me. I missed those goofy phone calls that my dad would give, telling me the joke he's made up for the day, and he'll make sure I've had something to eat. Since it is months later, it's expected of me to be over the grief. And it made me feel alone in that grief. So I didn't talk about what I was dealing with, and I became very depressed. I went to the doctor and I agreed to an antidepressant. I was hoping that was going to help me through this. I was slowly getting out of church. At first, it was because the grief was so exhausting. Then I heard a preacher say, "You can't be a Christian and be depressed, because depression is of Satan. You can't be oppressed by the devil and love God." Then I'm questioning myself. Am I a Christian? Do I really love God? Before I know it, I'm not going to church at all. I'm trying to do this on my own, which so I thought. I do not recommend trying to go at it on your own, but I was not alone because God did know my heart and He knew my battle. Luke 24:14-16, it talks about days after Jesus' resurrection. He come up walking with His disciples, and they didn't recognize Him, but He stayed with them until they did recognize His presence. I'm so thankful that He did walk with me until I could recognize His presence again. When it comes to talking about my daughter, I have a hard time saying passed away or died. So I just say since she left me here. It's been 6 years and 1 month tomorrow. I try my best to talk about how I'm feeling. Because of my previous grief experience, I can now recognize if depression's coming up. I can pray for strength during those days and let my husband know that I'm struggling. Around 5 years ago, I struggled a lot with prayer and praise. I kept thinking, why do I need to pray if it's going to work out however the Lord wants it to? I would have so many thoughts and questions. What did I do wrong for this to happen? Was God trying to get my attention? All things work together for good? How is this for my good? Is this punishment for my past sins? I kept thinking, God's forsaken me, and I don't understand why He didn't protect my child from danger. I wasn't mad at God. My feelings was just hurt. On a Monday in February of 2020, on my way to work, I started talking to God. I said, "Lord, I don't know how to pray anymore because I'm broken. I want to talk to You, but I don't want to talk to You. I feel like I've been forsaken. One of my most important prayers was protect my kids. Now my daughter is no longer here with me. I'm hurt, but I will keep trusting You. I don't understand it, but I will keep trusting, Lord. I wish You could just get right in my face and tell me something." And that's all I could pray in that moment. The week went on with me struggling to pray. That Sunday after preaching, many gathered in the altar for prayer. I remember a couple of gentlemen praying with me. And afterwards, I turned to head back to my seat, and it's like I just heard wait. So I stayed where I was and continued praying. Most everyone had went back to their seats, and I started that way again, and I heard wait. Well, now I'm standing up there almost by myself. There's one other couple being prayed for, and I'm thinking, what in the world am I waiting for? And so then the pastor, he starts walking towards me, and he says, we're praying for you. Then he was right in front of me and says, God will not forsake you. Are you with me? I could only nod my head yes, because it wasn't just the pastor standing there. God had used him to give me a message. I was in a little bit of a shock because normally I would be crying, but I was just shocked because I had just prayed. God, I feel like you've forsaken me. And here the pastor is right in front of me. God will not forsake you. He showed up right in front of my face. I was still struggling with the verse, all things work together for good. A couple of years later, while worshiping during service, the Lord said, you see, the enemy meant to destroy you. The devil was hoping to destroy me in this. He was going to try to make me to turn from God. But God is mighty, and I'm rooted in him. This tragedy is making me more near him. Psalms 34:18, the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Then I've dealt with another type of grief. I watched my mom slowly fade away. She lived with us for about 5 years. I tried to care for her the best I could. She had progressive supranuclear palsy. This woman could tackle all kinds of adventures just a year prior to her diagnosis. She became so frail. I grieved while she was here, and she passed away last year. This grief has been very different. I expected my daddy to be about 90 years old, not die at the age of 67. Not that being older would have made it easier, but I just expected him to be here longer. I expected me and my daughter to be in a retirement community together in our old age, driving staff crazy with our jokes, not her leave here at 22 years old. I expected to care for my mom, but I thought it would be easier. I thought I would be showering her with love and enjoy every bit of it. But being a caretaker and a daughter at the same time, that was hard. Grief is so much more than just an emotion. Some people think it's something you experience and you move through. In some cases, grief is brief and a process. But in some situations, it's a lifelong journey that changes each day. One day is extremely bad. Next, you're semi-okay. 3 years later, the grief can hit you like the tragedy just happened. In that grief holds memories, heartache, and sometimes physical pain. Through it all, I can testify to God's unfailing compassion. You'll probably hear me say this often. He's been my strength. He is Jehovah Uzi. He's helped me through a lot, and he is continuing to help me. I hope y'all have a blessed day, and I hope you share this with somebody that it could encourage. Love you. God bless.